Hey anglers, it's Al the Hitman Sims with the weekly Fishing Recon Report brought to you by BlackOpsFishing.com, real undercover fishing. 5/11/12, the first report comes to us from Fishing Factory 3 in Middletown. Andrew says things are starting to pick up in the salt. Reports of the arrival of striped bass on the reefs surfaced early last week, with the best results coming from the Race, Bartlett's, 6 Mile Reef, and Long Sand Shoal. 3-weighing bucktails tipped with pork rind has been the best bet. Trolling parachutes on wire is also a very effective method when the bass are on squid, as they are right now. Andrew says there are some bluefish in the Race as well, and there have been some reports of fluke off the Rhode Island beaches. Mostly short fish, but they are here. Andrew also heard some secondhand reports of fluke on the backside of fishers. The Fishing Factory 3 now has a variety of frozen fluke baits in stock. Scup porgy season is now open and the regulations have changed. The season now runs until December 31st and you are now allowed 20 fish per angler. Andrew says don't forget to inquire about the season-long fluke tournament next time you come in. On the trout scene, this time of year, trout fishing is at its best. The cool weather and recent stockings make the fishing pretty good. The Salmon River has been red hot the last week. The shop has seen numerous fish in the 5 to 7 range come in, mostly out of the salmon. Black Pond has steady action as well as Miller's Pond, Cedar Lake, Higginham Reservoir, and Chatfield Hollow. Take advantage of it while the fishing's good. Andrew says sorry for the delay in the report, but between the nice weather and the decent striper bite, the shop has been crazy for the last few weeks. The striper bite continues to be solid on both blood and sandworms, with the best reports coming from the Cromwell River Road in Middletown and the Goodspeed Opera House in East Haddam on bait. The DEP dock has been decent as well. The water temp north of Middletown hit 55 degrees over the weekend and that triggered a decent topwater bite. If you can find them on herring, Andrew suggests throwing large scoops, pencil poppers, swim baits, 9-inch plastics, and prefers the slug-out. South of Middletown to the Swing Bridge has been a little quiet in terms of topwater action, but Andrew has heard of a bite going down periodically from the Swing Bridge to Essex. The mouth of the river continues to be a little quiet as well, but hopefully that bite will get going soon. The Fishing Factory 3 teamed up with River's End last weekend for the Take a Bet fishing tournament. Fishing was a little on the slow side with not too many fish documented, but a 34-incher taken by a veteran took home the $500 prize, and they're hoping that this tournament will now be an annual thing. Andrew says there has been some northern pike chewing in Middletown and reports of some gators in the Cromwell stretch. Most of these fish are being caught on big swim baits and large plastics intended for stripers, and the white perch bite continues to be good. Middletown and Essex seem to be the best for reports. The next report comes to us from Connecticut Outfitters in Wethersfield on the Connecticut River, the mouth and lower. We're seeing some bunker now. One customer in a kayak trolling tube and worm, 5-inch striper on board. Things have improved at the mouth this week for sure. In the greater Hartford area, all striper fishing is hot this week. Chunk baits like fresh and legal Hudson River herring, blood and sandworms are all doing well. Also hard baits like surface swimmers such as Danny's and Lloyd's are doing well. Lane and T-Bone got into a ton of fish this week. Tom was chunking and fishing lures both. Perch and Emerson had a great night out in the CTO G3 tossing sluggos and salt shakers with jig heads, all with good results. Multiple fish in the 30 to 37-inch range. Eric, the avid one, had a few good outings with fish on 9-inch Houdini shads. Also, lots and lots of shad to be had right now. 3 and 4 pounders, and many bucks from the shore at the Bissell Bridge and the Railroad Bridge in Hartford. On Wethersfield Cove, stripers are making their way into the cove. Fish the channel with chunks or try swimmers in yellow, red. Mambo minnows will run shallow and are a good lure to toss out there as well. North of Hartford, more shad and more shad. Stripers too, many at night. Live eels at night is doing the trick. The Salmon River and Farmies TMA sections. Water flows are stable and fishing remains strong. Kenny B landed 2 20s, browns in the Farmy below Collinsville on a yellow coach dog, inline spinners. A few customers still picking up large bows out from under the newly recovered bridge on the Salmon River. Connecticut Outfitters Marine Report. We still have a few weeks of flounder fishing left. Reports from the Niantic River are good. Fluke opens next week on Tuesday the 15th. Porgy fishing is good to great. Niantic, Rocky Neck, and Hammonasset are all reporting good porgies. Reports from the race are strong for stripers. It seems as if bluefish are not yet too thick, but we know that'll change. Bucktails on 3-way rigs and drifting eels are working now. It comes to us from Jack at the Fish Connection. Jack says the Thames River has pretty good concentrations of stripers, mostly smaller bass with a few keepers mixed in. More bass showing in the harbor and the Shetucket River area, but they are smaller schoolies. The Mystic River has been hosting some bigger fish, however, and there is plenty of bait in the river. Cheyenne from the shop reports of seeing squid, smelt, herring, and bunker concentrations in the Mystic River. Also, the Pawcatuck River has been good for bigger bass. Jack says to try behind the cemetery in Stonington. The Marine Report. Jack says the race is getting better every day. Still mostly stripers, but the blues are moving in fast. Many of the shop's customers have been doing well at the race with herring and diamond jigs. Winter flounder has been very good from Bluff Point and the Niantic River. Fluke opens in just a few days on May 15th in the Fish Connection in conjunction with Hilliers, and Rivers End Bait and Tackle is holding an awesome Fluke tournament. The entry is only $15 with weekly prizes and a $1,000 payout at the end. Stop at any of these locations to enter and get more details. On the freshwater scene, Jack tells us that customers are still taking salmon at Long Pond, and the trout fishing has been really hot on the Shetucket, Natchog, and Salmon Rivers. The last report comes to us from Dave's Bait and Tackle and the Black Ops Fishing Mafia. Dave takes his son down the road to Day Pond most evenings, and they are still catching quite a few trout. The 8 Mile, Salmon River, Black Ledge, Jeremy, and Natchog rivers are all producing well, and Dave has heard of lots of bigger than average trout and breeders at these locations from his customers. Cat Paw Kavanaugh of Black Ops Fishing fished the Natchog River during the week and hooked and landed a ton of trout. No tiger trout, mostly brookies, and he took 2 home for the frying pan. Fish Sean and the Hitman have been slaying stripers and some catfish in the lower Salmon River. Herring facsimiles are responsible for the bass. The Hitman's fave is the live target herring lure. Sluggos, Rapalas, bombers, stick baits, and all will produce when the timing is right, and that has been late at night. Fish Sean is still gloating over his 10-pound, 2-ounce trophy white cat that gobbled a whole herring in the daytime on the Salmon River. This has been Al the Hitman Sims with the weekly Black Ops Fishing Recon Report. Until next week, keep off my bass.